The cloud is supposed to be the ultimate destination for every global workflow. But when you are dealing with hundreds of millions of dollars in highly classified cinematic intellectual property, software firewalls just aren't enough. TransPerfect Media knows this, which is exactly why they are making a massive brick-and-mortar play by acquiring top-tier Italian dubbing powerhouse Studio Emme. In a world obsessed with decentralization, the smartest localization power moves are actually about building impenetrable physical fortresses. You're listening to Locanuku.com, localization news you can use. We are operating in a market right now where generating a translated word is practically free. The cost is basically zero. And yet, the smartest localization players out there are locking in wider profit margins than we have seen in a decade, which makes absolutely no sense until you realize that the most successful firms stopped selling words entirely. They started selling trust. They started selling liability shields and physical moats. It is the ultimate paradox of hyperautomation. The cheaper the execution of a task gets, the more incredibly valuable the human guarantee behind that execution becomes. The commodity is the text, but the premium product is the certainty. Let's talk about building an actual physical fortress to protect that certainty. TransPerfect just acquired Rome-based Studio Emme, a huge move folding it straight into their TransPerfect Media division. If you are deeply entrenched in the media localization space, you know Studio Emme is absolute royalty, top tier in the Italian dubbing and high-end audiovisual post-production world. But here is the interesting part. We talk endlessly about cloud orchestration, decentralized global talent, and remote recording. Why on earth is a super LSP making a massive power play to buy physical brick-and-mortar real estate and hardware mixing boards in 2026? Because the cloud is vulnerable and the physical world is a moat. Look at the underlying economics of what TransPerfect Media is actually handling here. They are strictly catering to the streaming giants dropping hundreds of millions of dollars on tentpole series. When you deal with that level of intellectual property, you are bound by the Trusted Partner Network, or TPN, security standards. People really underestimate how aggressive those audits are. It's not just having a good firewall and two-factor authentication. TPN compliance for pre-release, high-value AV content often requires military-grade physical air gapping. You need biometric locks on the doors. You need isolated servers that literally never touch the public internet. You need Dolby Atmos mixing rooms where no employee can even bring in a mobile phone. If you are a purely tech-based localization startup with an amazing cloud platform, you cannot code your way into that level of physical security. If a highly anticipated season finale of a massive global show leaks because a remote sound engineer's home Wi-Fi got hacked, it is game over. The damages are catastrophic, brand-destroying events. So by buying Studio Emme, like TransPerfect isn't just buying microphones and consoles. They are buying an impenetrable, pre-certified physical fortress. That is textbook vertical integration. As global streaming volume explodes, owning the physical infrastructure in a historic dubbing hub like Rome completely insulates you from competitors who only have a software API. Furthermore, you are buying established physical relationships with elite Italian voice actors, the ones the studios specifically request. They want to walk into a high-end, comfortable, familiar studio with engineers they know. You own the real estate, the hardware, and the local talent gravity. That wraps up our look at why physical brick-and-mortar is becoming the ultimate liability shield. For deeper analysis on M&A shifts in the media space, head over to Localization.com.